Both the Tampa Bay Buccaneers and New York Giants are coming off bye weeks and are looking to come off with a victory in this Week 12 matchup. My name is Tyler, here with my brother Ryan, and we're breaking down this Week 12 NFL matchup between the Buccaneers and Giants. But before we get into that, we have a goal of getting to 6,000 subscribers by the end of the year. Ryan and I, we cannot believe that is even possible to say. So thank you to everybody that has joined the channel. So if you haven't already, hit that subscribe button, leave a like and a comment. Let us know who you think will win this game and why. And Ryan, Tampa Bay Buccaneers are looking to claw their way back into the NFC South division race. My Atlanta Falcons are helping them out a lot with two back-to-back, really just horrible losses, I'll just say in general. But Buccaneers, though, man, they look good. Baker Mayfield, I think, has looked good. All things considered, with both Chris Godwin going out for the season, Mike Evans has been banged up, and he should be potentially coming back. That's going to be the big thing to watch here, is if he's going to be playing in this game. But without them, though, they've still been able to do a decent job on the offensive side of the ball. And on the flip side, too, the Giants have not been able to do a decent job on the offensive side of the ball here. I think Daniel Jones' time is coming to an end here, so we'll have to kind of wait and see what the quarterback situation is going to be like. Maybe not in this game, but potentially after this game, kind of as the season goes on. But, Ryan, I want to throw it over to you. What are some of the key X factors overall that each team needs to take advantage of to come out victorious in this matchup?
Yeah, I think you mentioned the big one there was if Mike Evans can play for this Buccaneers offense, because they've done a really good job kind of spreading around the targets. Lately, Cade Otton. I wanted to say Jaden Ott, but that's a running back in this upcoming draft class. So Cade Otton has done a really good job kind of emerging as one of Baker Mayfield's go-to targets there as well. So if Mike Evans can come back, be that down-the-field threat that we all know he can be, I think that would do wonders for this offense as well. And defensively, getting after whoever's back there at quarterback, whether it's Daniel Jones or if they decide to make a switch in the middle of the game or whatnot, I think is going to be very important as well, because I think you look at this offense, they have a decent running game. Tyrone Tracy Jr., friend of the show, but he's had a really good rookie season, but this passing attack is just not where it needs to be right now. And all in all, it's just this Giants team is really, really struggling. And I think buy-in wise, they're really struggling as well. Not because I don't think they're buying into necessarily what the coaches are saying. I think there's just a lot of frustration in the organization with how they've performed lately. And I think it's kind of boiling over, and it's coming to a tipping point where I think official changes are going to have to be made, whether it's at the quarterback position or elsewhere. So for me, I think if the Giants come out, they run the football well, and they get that going, I think that'll open up kind of the passing game for them. And defensively, this is still a decent defense. They have two good edge rushers there. Dexter Lawrence is very solid in the middle. They have some corners that can play good football. So, this is still a good team. I think this will be a really competitive game. I think you look, the Buccaneers are in the division race still, and the Giants are kind of sliding into non-existence in terms of the playoff picture for 2024.
Yeah, for the Giants, you do still have a lot of guys playing for their jobs.
Yeah.
So that's going to bring out a lot of fight. And for the Bucs, yeah, they have that extra added advantage now to try even that much harder. But as the Falcons fall to 6-5, and the Buccaneers are 4-6 on the season with a relatively easy schedule in this final third of the season. So, but one of the areas where I think the Giants can exploit them if they're able to is the Buccaneers. They are 30th overall in just total yards allowed, but 30th also when it comes to passing yards allowed. There are several big outliers in that game, in that stat. One of which the Falcons, Kirk Cousins, 400 or 500 plus yard passing game as well. They had 437 total yards of team offense, team passing offense in that game. But in general, though, especially too, if you go look at the past couple of weeks, even before this, they're giving up more than 260 yards at minimum over the past 4 games. It's now against Baltimore, Atlanta, at Kansas City, and San Francisco. So admittedly, actually 4 teams that can throw the ball decently well. And so the Giants team is not in that category, I would say, when it comes to their offensive stats, 26 when it comes to passing yards. But That being said, though, Malik Neighbors is still a legit threat, I think, for any defense that they have to worry about. You mentioned Tyrone Tracy. Giants are their 12th when it comes to their offensive rushing statistics, their ranking. So if they're able to be aggressive in the passing game a little bit, Daniel Jones is able to make the right read, and that's just kind of one of the things that I've, especially too in that Carolina Panthers game, because the Panthers defense is not really that great, but their last game that they played, which was in Germany, you're just looking at it like Daniel Jones was just making the wrong read, like he's looking the wrong way, looking at the wrong guy. When you get another guy on the other side of the field that's wide open, you're going to miss those sometimes. But then when NFL Network showing a highlight reel of like the 4 or 5 that you're missing, I think it's more systemic than like a random one-off where you just missed a guy, which happens to all the quarterbacks, so that I think is just where the biggest issue is going to be. And when looking in for the Giants is fun. Probably one of my favorite things within the channel, why you should subscribe, is talking about like the off season and especially to all the build up to the draft. And the Giants, to me, I think there are a lot of teams that you could say are looking for quarterbacks. I think the Giants are for sure going quarterback. One, they're going to be top 5, but like I imagine Shedeur Sanders in that offense with Malik Neighbors there. And
see, I actually like Cam Ward a little bit better, but that's a topic for another day.
We'll debate that. I just think Shedeur Sanders is higher on my board. But I think
you look at Josh Allen's development and where he came from and where Cam Ward is and like kind of his background. I feel like you see a lot different players in like terms of size, but I feel like you see a lot of similar traits in those two.
Potentially. I just think Shedeur Sanders is just the already more developed, polished passer. And imagine him with Brian Dable in this offense and what we saw Brian Dable do with Josh Allen, so to say, in the system. So maybe if you think Cam Ward and Josh Allen are a comp, I think more.
Well, I look at not necessarily a player comp, but I look at like the faults in their game coming out of college. If Brian Dable was able to kind of work with Josh Allen to get him where he is before he took the New York job.
Yeah.
And then I see the similarities with Cam Ward in his game where they make a lot of the same mistakes. They have a lot of the same quirks.
Yeah. To me, when I look at Shedeur Sanders, though, and imagine this within this offense, like Daniel Jones in the one good year that he had, they had very limited receivers, but a good motion offense, like with Darius Slayton and there's the other veteran receiver that was on there. Because it wasn't Sterling Shepard, he got hurt. Anyways, I digress. But now, so you still have Slayton, you have Wan'Dale Robinson, you're going to have Malik Neighbors as well. Shedeur Sanders, we've seen for his college career, like be able to process and go through his reads, go through his progression. Now, that being said, we say all that, we could debate which quarterback. Giants got to get an offensive line no matter what. If they don't have an offensive line, I think both those guys could be set up to fail potentially. So, but we'll have to wait and see. But it'll be a fun kind of debate, throughout these next several months on what the Giants should do. When it comes to this game and kind of finalizing this debate on who we think is going to win this game, I'm going to go with Tampa Bay.
I'm going with Tampa Bay too.
I think they're going to win in the trenches just overall. I think it's going to be a fun matchup between the Buccaneers offensive line and the Giants defensive line. That's going to be a fun matchup. But vice versa, though, I think the Tampa Bay Buccaneers defensive line is going to take care of business versus the Giants offensive line.
I agree there as well. And I also think you look at this offense with potentially Mike Evans coming back. He'll be playing in a limited role, but still I feel like that'll be a good rejuvenation of this offense. So yeah. I think Tampa Bay comes out ahead in this one. They're fighting for that division, and I think this game just makes that race even closer. So let's go ahead. We'll wrap this one up here. If you guys have not already, please go ahead and like and subscribe. It is the best way to help out the channel. While you're down there, go ahead and leave a comment on who you think is going to come out ahead. Will it be the Tampa Bay Buccaneers? Will it be the New York Giants? And on that, we'll see you guys next time.